Alright, hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are here with another Slayer guide. These are going to be something that you'll see on my channel a little bit more as I want to go ahead and cover everything I can, but this one is going to be on the thermonuclear smoke devils. So, this is quite the boss. This is like the end of the Slayer bosses, I guess you could say, as it does require 93 Slayers, so it will take a decent amount of time to get there. However, it's not a bad boss at all. The pet's quite impressive, and I mean, realistically, if you do it in one of these two ways, it's kind of chill, which is a little weird. It's much like Kraken in the sense that its regular drops are decently, they're decent price, and the rare drops that they have are, you know, Occult Necklace is a mill, Smoke Battle Staffs 3, Dragon Chain Bodies 1. They're decent rare drops, but they're nothing that's going to change your bank if you're at 93 Slayer. So it's just a nice task that you can go ahead, try to get a pet on. You can get some R8 XP, which is something that I was pretty surprised about, and overall it's just a pretty chill task. Alright, so before we get into the video, I'm just going to go through the two setups real quick and the requirements that I'd recommend. So as far as requirements, what you're going to want to need for the magic setup is 94 magic, preferably, and 45 prayer, just for the Mystic Might prayer. From there, as far as the melee setup goes, you're going to want to have about 90 plus all stats, but I mean, realistically, if you have 93 Slayer, I think that that's a given. And on top of that, have 70 prayer for piety. But with that being said, let's get on into the mage setup. You guys can see that I have a magic setup that may come off as a little weird, but trust me, it's the way you're going to want to do this task if you have the requirements. So I'm going to go through what I have. That guy moved. Thanks, man. All right, let's get everything out of here. Bye now. Alright, so this is what I'm going to be bringing. Do what you can to get something like this, but one thing I'm going to recommend before we even get on into this, 94 magic for Ice Barrage it is amazing. You're going to want that. It makes this just so much easier, and I'll get into that here in a little bit. So this is going to be the mage setup. As you guys can see, it's relatively simple. There are improvements that you can make. The improvements that can be made here would be the Tormented Bracelet and an Arcane Spirit Shield. Other than that, I do believe that I have the best things that you can get. You could obviously, you know, improve that and get some of the new raid stuff, but this is what I'm going to be rocking with. I feel like it's one of the most affordable ones, and it is pretty self-explanatory. Just Arams, you can get Eternal Boot, Seer's Ring, Slayer Helm imbued, all the good stuff. In your inventory, this is then what you're going to want to bring as well. So you're going to want to bring a rune pouch if you have one. It's very, very helpful, as it's going to allow you to take in three different types of runes, a couple magic potions, couple prayer potions, and then a Slayer ring, ring of dueling, and a full inventory of sharks. Now this is one that you can decide this on your own. Personally, I don't enjoy doing this, but one of the ways that you can make this trip pretty much last as long as you want is you can take Blood Barrage. However, I find it to be a little expensive, as you're wasting so many runes for each cast, and realistically you're only going to be getting like 5 to 10 HP off of each one. I'd rather just run to the bank, and it's a pretty quick bank time, so that is up to you. If you have the money and you want to, you can go ahead and use soul runes and stay there forever, or if you guys are like me and want to save a little bit of money, you can go ahead and just not bring those. So that's just there for an example. Now I'm going to get on into the melee setup. So this is going to be a little different, less kills per hour, but it is definitely a lot more applicable to the average Slayer, I would imagine. Alright, so now for the melee setup. So as far as weapons that you can practically bring any weapon in the game that you want to. Obviously you're going for something that has a decent amount of speed, so whip is something that I would recommend. You could bring something like a bludgeon, which would be a crush style attack. Doesn't really matter at all. So you guys are going to want to have a magic based defense. So we have Corrales. You guys could bring, I would say Armadillo, but that negates melee stats, so you're going to want to bring Black D'hide if you need a lesser alternative. There we have a Fire Cape. You can bring a Torture if you have it. Just another Slayer Helm, as you know. Primordial Boots would be better, and other than that, this is about as good as it gets. So on over to the inventory. Alright, so now on to the inventory. So as you guys can see, I have 3 prayer potions, a set of super attack and super strength, a Slayer ring, a dueling ring for banking, and an inventory full of sharks. From there, you can also have a spec weapon. I have none that I prefer to use here, as I have most of my money in merches, so I don't want to embarrass myself by bringing out a DDS, but something like the Crystal Halberd, or maybe a Sarah Sword, or I mean a Sarah Dome and God Sword, to continue your trips a little longer would be helpful. So once you guys got whatever gear setup you're going to want to get, go ahead and follow me. Alright, so forgive me for the whip in my inventory, but I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to get there. So what you're going to want to do is just teleport to the Tree Gnome Stronghold Slayer Cave. Once you get there, you know the route. So I'm going to go on in, and I'm just going to talk over while I run there about really the pros and cons of these methods. So the magic method, by all means, I believe is the best method possible. If you have the requirements to do it, go ahead and do it. It is great. It's more AFK than the melee method, which I will show you here in a second. And I mean, realistically, you get faster kills, more XP an hour. Like, there's nothing wrong with this method. I mean, unless you're going for maybe like a 99 and you want something, go ahead. From what I've seen, you can get about 60 to 70 kills an hour with Mage, and since you can bring soul runes, you can stay here for that entire time. What I saw with Whip, I mean, realistically, you could probably get, if you were able to stay there the entire time, like 50 to 55 kills an hour, and at that point, you still have to be able to stay there, which is another problem. So I don't know once you add in that how much it actually is, but the Mage method is definitely the best, and I'm going to show you guys how to go about both of them here in a second. Alright, so once you have ran to the northwest, you're going to want to go ahead and enter the crevice to the Smoke Boss room, or Smoke Devil Boss room. As you guys can see, someone else is here, so I'll be respectful, as you guys should, and go ahead and hop. Alright, so once you have found a world to yourself, go ahead and pot up. Personally, I will be using magic, but for this first kill, I'll show you guys what you're going to want to do if you are using melee. So, what you're going to want to do, just go ahead, pot up, turn on Piety, get your whip out, do what you got to do, and turn off your run energy. Once you're there, go ahead and attack the Dust Devil. So what you're going to want to, or the Smoke Devil, what you're going to want to do is once you attack it, run behind it. Not how I did run like right there, but just run under it for a second, hop back out, hit it again, run under it. This is because if you stand in an area where it can hit you nonstop, it will hit you nonstop. I'll show you guys. I'll take one for the team and do that here in a second. So the way you really want to do it is the way that I just did it there. You want to run under it for a second, and you want to just come right back out. If you have to run under him the whole way, you're kind of losing on like some time, so I mean, it is what it is. You'll get used to it, and over time, I mean, you'll definitely just get better at it as you learn to do and walk this boss a little more. So, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end of this kill, because this could take a while as I'm not potted and not praying piety. Alright, and there we go, done with the kill. So, you do actually get a few sand few drops here, and a couple actual food drops, which is really nice and helps you stay on task just a little longer. But now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what you want to do with Mage. So, per usual, you know, just gear up, pot up, and turn on your prayer, and from there, this is going to be the spot that I recommend. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and kill this boss real quick. I'm going to show you guys just how you're going to want to go about this. So you're going to want Ice Barrage first. If you see a 52 XP drop, there is a possibility that you did not kill him, or you did not freeze him, so go ahead and do that. What you're going to want to do, and I use this as a rule of thumb, is zoom all the way out. If you're using OS Buddy, it's very helpful, because the way that you know if you're in range is you can almost see his full body on your screen. If he's out of range and won't be able to attack you, you can tell because you cannot see him fully. So after being in the freeze for about what is equivalent to like 7 hits, he will become unfrozen. All you're going to want to do, freeze him once, step back another spot, and you will be good to go. So as you guys can see, we're kind of working with his edges here. I should probably mention first that you will need to put this on long range. If anyone's already X'd out of the guide, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to put your trident on long range. I know it's a little annoying because you have to get up your defense and you can't focus solely on Mage, but for how good this is, I would say it's definitely worth it. So just repeat that. I'll show you the importance of that spot here in a second. So give me a second and I'm just going to repeat the process. Alright, so this is one problem that you may actually run into during some of your freezes of the Smoke Devil boss, is you may actually just get a small Smoke Devil while you're at it. So if you are someone that actually is here and wants to, you know, use Blood Barrage, this is prime time to go ahead and do that, as you will be hitting twice the targets. But if you're someone that's not going to be doing that, I recommend just letting it go, waiting to the end of the kill. If you want to have a faster task and you don't care as much about the boss, go ahead and just kill the Smoke Devil. But realistically, if you were here to just kill the smaller Smoke Devils, you do that as a task itself. This is a boss guide, so what I recommend doing, as this thing will not get off of you, is just leave the room and you'll be good to go. Just leave, come back in. By the time you're back in, there will be another one spawned. So that's what I do to get away from that. Alright, so the reason that I told you guys about the spot down here is because this is a very good spot to stand right off the bat. So after you get done killing one, just go ahead and stand here, and he will spawn in this exact location. If you're quick enough and he doesn't move and you get a little lucky, you'll be able to freeze him right off the bat. You won't have to move or do anything, and it's just really nice. So, I mean, that's what I do, so... You know, go ahead and do that if you want. You can find your own little spot around the room, but that's just a very, easy one to point out, and it's very easy to spot in the room itself. Alright, so that'll be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I wish you guys the best of luck on your boss grind and getting that pet, because I think that's what we're all here for. But if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. If you guys want to see more videos of mine as soon as they come out in the future, go ahead and hit that sub button. I have a Twitter in the description if you want to check it out. And yeah, constructive criticism is always welcome in the comments, as I'm looking to improve all the videos I make constantly. So with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace. And from there, I think he moved, but you should be able to freeze him from right there and then step back one spot and be alright. Alright, fuck me. Can go ahead and freeze him right off the bat once he starts moving. So from there, all you have to do is just stay in this spot. Ideally, he wouldn't move right off the bat. Fuck. God, do it! On top of that, as soon as you kill one, you can then freeze the... Oh my god. Fuck. Oh. Get some decent XP, which is actually something that I was decently surprised about.
And everything is going to be
Decent.